The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Chris Burton in again for Alex.
We begin this morning with breaking news. A long-term closure of a portion of Eastbound Highway 58, Tower Line Road. According to the California Highway Patrol's incident information page, officers were called to the scene at around 3:50 a.m. after a semi overturned this morning at that location, blocking all lanes. No word at this time of any injuries or what caused that semi to overturn. Traffic is currently being diverted on Tower Line Road at Highway 223. We will update you when we learn more about this.
Meantime, now to a developing story. We've been following the discovery of a body inside a well in southwest Bakersfield. This is a city well. According to the Bakersfield Fire Department, the body was found yesterday afternoon. The well is located on New Stein Road near Demeret Avenue, south of Stockdale Highway. The opening only about 18 inches wide. Crews will be back out there today to try and figure out the best way to remove it. The fire department says the body was found by a third party well servicing company. California Water Services, which operates and maintains the well for the city, said the well has been offline since November 15, 2021. There's no indication water quality has been affected. Bakersfield Police will take over the investigation.
Your time now is 5:03, and now to the case against Jaqueline and Trezell West, the adoptive parents charged with murder in the disappearance of Orrin and Orson West. The attorneys representing the Wests spoke for the first time yesterday, lobbing accusations at the district attorney. 17's Christian Galeno reports.
Why would you take this case?
It's been a case with 1,000,001 questions, and ever since the arrest of adoptive parents Jaqueline and Trezell West, questions keep coming. In a joint press conference Monday afternoon, defense attorneys are gearing up for a fight to defend the adoptive parents.
Statements that have been used by the Kern County District Attorney in her press conference tend to invoke a tidal wave of emotion towards finding guilt.
Both attorneys believe such statements by the DA can lead to an unfair trial for the West and even a change in venue. Jaqueline West is represented by Alexa Torres-Stalling, Trezell West by Timothy Hennessy. This may be the last time that attorneys are allowed to publicly discuss the case before a gag order is granted, which defense attorneys favor.
It's odd that the office held their press conference, made a series of comments which both mis- and disinformed the public, then the following day came and requested a gag order to stop the defense from having an ability to make similar comments.
Torres, Stallings, and Hennessy explain that the standard of proof at grand jury proceedings is much lower than the standard of being found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt required at trial.
We hear stuff like, we proved to the grand jury, they were convinced, they believed. That isn't the standard in which they make their finding. And so to us, it was to more clarify that that isn't the standard.
Hennessy also pointed out defense counsel and the accused are not present during grand jury proceedings and have no opportunity to cross-examine witnesses or present evidence. DA Zimmer said the DA's press conference was held to address questions by the media, given the high level of public interest, stating her office will have no further comment until a verdict has been reached. For 17 News, I'm Christian Galeno.
Trial in the case is scheduled for May 23rd.
Your time now is 5:05 in your 17 Court Watch. A hearing yesterday to assign a courtroom for what has become known as the Bakersfield 3 case was moved to tomorrow, and a judge ordered 10 witnesses to return. The witnesses have been subpoenaed to testify at the trial of Matthew Queen, who, along with missing ex-girlfriend Bailey Despot, is alleged to have tortured and killed Micah Holsenbake in 2018. The garage of Matthew Tyler Van de Castile is believed to have been the site of the torture and killing. Van de Castile took a plea deal and has agreed to testify at Queen's trial. Holsenbake and Despot, along with James Kolstad, became known as the Bakersfield 3, acquaintances who were killed or went missing within 2 months of each other in spring of 2018.
In education news this morning, dozens of students and parents packed last night's Kern High School District board meeting, united under a rallying cry, Justice for Jackson.
We're all here tonight because we're tired of seeing this over and over and over.
Kei Jackson's former students and mentees said she left a mark on them, one that didn't end when Jackson was terminated at Ridgeview High School last month. Jackson was allegedly terminated for poor work performance, but students say her classroom was a safe space for all students.
Ms. Jackson has taught me to be black, and what I mean by that, comfortable in my own skin. I've never been so proud to be who I am. I've never been so excited to go to a historically black college and university. She's continued to make us be proud of who we are and to never be afraid of who you are in your own skin.
There's been cops who even
Speakers called for Jackson's reinstatement at Ridgeview and an investigation into Ridgeview principal Roger Sanchez. Some threatened school walkouts if the issue was not addressed. Ridgeview officials could not be reached overnight for comment. And your time now is 5:07. As prices at the nation's gas pumps soar, the White House says President Biden hasn't decided whether to ban Russian oil imports. This coming as Russian forces bear down on several Ukrainian cities.
The Defense Department says nearly 100% of Russian troops amassed on the border are now inside Ukraine. People there continue to flee the country any way they can. NBC's Kei Jackson reports from Washington.
Good morning, Chris, Maddie. The UN estimates that more than 400 civilians have been killed so far, but the actual death toll is likely much higher. Meanwhile, the White House appears to be warming up to the idea of a ban on Russian oil. Deadly attacks in Ukraine escalating.
The Russian occupiers are killing Ukrainian children consciously and cynically.
The Pentagon says morale and supply problems within the Russian military have caused frustration, resulting in civilian casualties.
When you're relying more on long-range fires, you're gonna cause more damage, and you're gonna kill more people and injure more people.
Ukraine's president again pleading for Western assistance and an official ban on Russian oil. But no decision from President Biden on that yet, as Congress pushes forward with legislation to get it done fast.
Let's not wait. Let's not dither. The shells are flying tonight, raining upon the cities of Ukraine.
There's fear a ban could send gas prices surging even higher, the national average rising 50 cents over last week's prices. We're now seeing the highest price at the pump since 2008.
We're seeing a lot of volatility right now, and unfortunately, drivers are paying for that at the gas pump.
Experts warn rising gas prices could lead to more expensive flights. Meanwhile, there are signs of bravery and courage as Ukrainians try to escape war.
They're traumatized. Children don't cry anymore. That's a clear sign of trauma.
It's estimated more than 1.7 million residents have fled Ukraine for safety, many of them children. A plan to send fighter jets to Ukraine has hit a logistical snag, including concerns about how to transfer the jets without triggering a wider war with Russia. In Washington, I'm Kei Jackson for 17 News.
And there will be a community-wide Twilight Vigil tonight to pray for Ukraine from 6 to 7 p.m. at the Liberty Bell in downtown Bakersfield.
And as that conflict continues, state lawmakers are pushing forward with a push to stop the flow of money between California and Russia. The California legislature will soon consider a bill they say could be another big blow to Russia's economy.
We want to make sure that California, being the fifth largest economy in the world, is not an economy that's, taking billions of dollars and essentially putting fuel in Russian tanks.
The bill attempts to hit Russian financial markets in multiple ways. It requires the state's public retirement systems to pull investments out of Russian and Belarusian assets and companies, which were originally estimated up to $2 billion. The bill also aims to block any state contracts from being awarded to any company doing business with Russia. The legislation also asks private companies based in California to pull investments from the Russian economy. The bill already has bipartisan support from dozens of lawmakers who are working on nailing down a date for the bill's first hearing. Governor Gavin Newsom has also signed an executive order requiring state agencies make sure any contracts for services are consistent with the U.S. sanctions imposed on Russia.
Cities serve internationals on the ground in Warsaw, Poland, preparing to receive a shipment of 1 million meals from the U.S. Those meals will be distributed to Ukrainian refugees crossing the border into Poland. CityServe, founded right here in Bakersfield, is partnering with churches in Poland on this mission of mercy. That's Carl Hargestam executive director of City Serve International and a pastor at Canyon Hills Church in Bakersfield. He sent us this video yesterday from inside a warehouse in Warsaw, just secured as a drop-off point for food, clothing, and goods for Ukrainian refugees. Today, a 747 cargo plane will touch down in Warsaw to deliver 1 million meals donated by City Serve US. And with desperate refugees swarming the border, those meals can't come soon enough. We also received this heartfelt message from the senior advisor of City Serve Europe.
People are coming all the time. It's like a mess everywhere. At the same time, it's great, that people are meeting someone who can receive them and can help them. People coming here with hopelessness in their eyes, but that there are something that can make and bring some hope in this situation for them, that there will be a safe place and there will be something to get. Food, warm, maybe a hug, a place to sleep, a church that is open for everyone who needs them. So thank you everyone who is supporting City Serve in this great job.
And we should have more on this humanitarian mission with a Kern County connection as it unfolds with another update later today. Doing amazing things over there.
Your time now 5:32, making headlines around the state. Sacramento County Sheriff's Office is blaming California's, quote, sanctuary state law for the recent deadly church shooting. 3 young sisters and their chaperone were killed by the girl's father, David Mora Rojas, during a supervised visit. Police say Mora Rojas was in California illegally. Sheriff Scott Jones says until the system is fixed, there will be more victims.
There's only one thing that could have prevented this, and that is the detainer that was served on that jail saying, we know this guy, we want him, we want to take custody of him, that could not be acted upon because of California state law. That one thing could have prevented this.
Investigators say Rojas used an unregistered ghost gun in the shooting. He was also under a restraining order that barred him from possessing a firearm. At the time of the killings, Mora was out on bail after being arrested 5 days prior for punching a police officer.
Your time now is 5:33. A Santa Clara judge denied bail yesterday to former 2-time UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez, who faces attempted murder charges after allegedly firing at a man accused of sexually abusing a 4-year-old family member. Velasquez was arrested in San Jose last week. Prosecutors say he chased a pickup carrying the man through 3 Silicon Valley cities, ramming the vehicle with his own truck during an 11-mile high-speed chase. Velasquez fired a .40 caliber pistol at the vehicle several times, wounding the man's stepfather who was driving. Celebrity attorney Mark Garagos says he plans on vindicating Velasquez and getting him back with his family.
In your 17 Court Watch this morning, Kern County District Attorney Cynthia Zimmer yesterday announced a conviction in a child molestation case. A Kern County jury found Miguel Castillo Jr. guilty of 3 counts of child sexual molestation against 2 victims, including lewd or lascivious acts with a child 14 or 15 years old. Investigators say between 2015 and 2017, Castillo sexually molested 2 girls. The molestation was ultimately discovered in January of 2018 when one of the victims reported the abuse. Castillo faces a potential of 25 years to life and mandatory lifetime sex offender registration. Sentencing is set for April 4th.
And a man who worked as a teacher's aide at Old River Elementary School pleaded no contest yesterday to possession of child pornography. Matthew Cornejo was arrested in November and told police he used his iPhone to download and view the images for sexual gratification, according to court documents. Police say no local children were identified as victims. School district officials said Cornejo had been employed since 2014 as an instruction support aide and became a school aide in 2020. Cornejo is scheduled for sentencing next month.
A man arrested last month for a killing that happened in 2021 appeared in court yesterday for an arraignment. 34-year-old Deshaun Dante Hunter was arrested February 23rd on Teal Street in southeast Bakersfield. He's accused of killing 31-year-old Reginald McCoy Jr. on February 20th of 2021 on South Hayes Street. Hunter entered a plea of not guilty and is due back in court next month.
17 Crime Watch now. Detectives from the Kern County Sheriff's Office conducted minor decoy operations in North Bakersfield and Buttonwillow last month. The program uses supervised individuals under the age of 20 who attempt to purchase alcohol at licensed businesses. Detectives say out of the 21 businesses visited last month, 18 of them were successful in preventing the unlawful sale of alcohol. The 3 locations that served alcohol to the minor decoy were at the C Mart on Norris Road, Olive Drive Liquor on Olive Drive, and the Arco AM/PM on Tracy Avenue in Buttonwillow. The involved employees were issued citations.
Yesterday, thousands of truckers made their way back to the D.C. region for the second day of the People's Convoy. They looped around the Capitol Beltway to make their voices heard. Their message, the government works for us. Here's Christy Matino with more.
Honks, waves, and cheers as the People's Convoy made its way from Hagerstown to the Beltway for the second day in a row.
These truckers really just kind of be out there, make their voices heard, and show, they were a huge part of how we survived this pandemic.
Taking up 2 lanes of highway and making one large loop around the Beltway, the convoy made their message loud and clear, calling for an end to COVID-19 mandates.
The government was putting these mandates and controls on them when, they were our essential workers here, and I think it's more just like a show of solidarity at this point.
Local law enforcement worked together to prepare. Maryland State Police said they will address any violation of the law while also respecting the public's First Amendment rights. And those rights are what brought supporters like Matt Zolby out to the overpass.
I believe that a society with limited government that respects individual rights and individual liberty is best for all. At its core, I think this truck convoy stands for those basic principles, for limited government.
District of Columbia officials say this could be the beginning of several days of slow-moving traffic as the convoy makes its way back to D.C. to meet with Congress on Tuesday.
That was Christy Matino reporting. 17 News is your local election headquarters. The California Democratic Party handed out endorsements to blue candidates across the state at its 3-day convention this weekend. In overwhelmingly Democratic California, getting the party's official nod can be key for candidates trying to stand out from the pack. 17th Maddie Gannon attended the event and is here to break down how Kern's candidates fared this weekend.
The virtual convention brought together some of the most powerful Democrats in the biggest and bluest state in the nation. Speakers included House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Vice President Kamala Harris. But tensions were high as the party discussed its platform and endorsements for an election year in which Democrats are trying to hold on to very tight margins in Congress and keep a supermajority in the state legislature. In Kern's deep red 20th district, here we have a Democrat, a teacher at Fairfax Junior High School, Marisa Wood, trying to take on Kevin McCarthy. Now, Wood did receive the party's endorsement this weekend, getting 100% of the vote. But now turning to Kern's other congressional district, that's the 22nd congressional district, there is 4 people in this race looking to take on the Republican incumbent David Valadao. Rudy Salas is the only Democrat in this district. He is a current Bakersfield assemblyman. He did get the party's endorsement this weekend, getting about 86% of the vote. But now, notably, about 13% voted for no endorsement at all, despite the fact that, again, Salas is the only Democrat in this district. But Salas has strayed from his party in the past on some big issues. Recently, for instance, he proposed legislation that would repeal parts of the Democrat-backed Prop 47. And now we're going to turn to Kern's 35th Assembly District. Over here, we have 2 Democratic candidates. We have current Kern Supervisor Leticia Perez, as well as Bakersfield Dr. Jasmeet Baines. Now, Leticia walked away with the endorsement from the party in this district, getting about 65% of the vote to Dr. Baines, about 8%. But again, notably, if you can see over here, we have about 26% that voted for no endorsement at all in this district. Lastly, no one in Kern's 16th Senate District will get the party's official nod. At the the pre-endorsing meeting, the vote was virtually split between 3 candidates. None met the threshold to get the endorsement. And now this was before the incumbent in the district, Melissa Hurtado, switched her bid from the 14th to the 16th. We will be looking out for California Republican Party endorsements and bring you those as they come. In studio, Maddie Gannon, 17 News.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.